No, but they'll show up in a second.
They usually wait for us to come on.
Yep.
Yeah, so we
Hello,
might as well just wait a minute.
everyone.
There's Buffy.
There's Buffy. Hello, Buffy.
Hi, Buffy.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello,
We are
hello.
back. Hello.
It is 3 o'clock, and here we are
And here we are. And
in
yes.
1994.
It's 5 o'clock for me.
Yes.
3
Yes, and I
o'clock for all
believe
you
for
guys.
Buffy,
It's
it's
5
like
o'clock for me.
10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock.
And look
Yeah.
at this, you guys. Look, I'm sitting outside. Look. Wait. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Can see my
All
breath.
right.
Hi, BRT.
It's that
Yeah.
cold out here.
Yeah.
It's
Woo.
gloomy.
So right now we got Buffy. Hi, Buffy.
Hi, Buffy.
And of course, we have
BRT.
BRT.
Hey,
Much love,
B.
This might be my favorite episode, guys.
So today we're talking about episode 6, which is called Piggy Piggy. So, and we started off, it starts off in 1994.
1994.
And they don't get this one. Huh?
We can't hear you.
Again, it's another one that flashback. The only episode we've had so far that hasn't flashback is part 2 of Halloween. So you can just count that.
Pretty much. And so they don't mess around this time because they got people pounding. They got someone pounding on the door. It turns out to be the SWAT team. Yeah, looking for Tate.
And Constance is living in the murder house at this point.
Right.
That's when you realize that she opens the door. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Doc.
So they ask if Tate is there, and she asks, what did he do? And then they make entry and head right upstairs.
Yeah, they said, does Tate Langdon live here?
Yeah.
And what room did they go to? The one that Violet is sleeping in now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did.
Didn't we previously find out? Didn't we previously find out though that Violet had Tate's room? Didn't we already find that out?
I don't even know that we knew Constance lived there until this episode.
Murder house.
Well, no, because
we knew
She said it used to be her house.
After Violet finds out about Tate and everything, she's still in the room. I don't know if it's after she finds out about the shooting or not. So,
well, the room that she's sleeping in the murder house was Tate's when they lived there in 94.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But Violet doesn't know that about Tate. Obviously, I think she finds that out later, after she finds out about the shooting. Because she didn't know that he lived there before.
Yeah,
she just thought he was a patient of his dad's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just going with what was. I'm trying to be like not go forward like I did yesterday. Just go with.
Because the next scene after that, you see the kids in the library, and you hear a gun go off, and then that's when you find out that someone's shooting up the school, and next thing you know, you have someone, we don't realize it's Tate yet because you don't see his face. Walking
I love those camera shots. Those camera angles were great because they left you wondering, who it was and what was going on. You had an idea maybe, but you didn't know for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. And then you saw him walking through the library and basically killing them one by one.
And it's all the people we saw at the beach in the last episode.
And the thing too is that with a lot of these mass school shootings, and this is again, like you guys were saying yesterday, to show us the psychological breakdown of this kid's mind and everything. But with most of them, these kids, they either target the specific people that picked on them, or they just most of the time they just go in and randomly shoot because they want to get in and get out. And I noticed that because I watched it twice now since yesterday because I wasn't paying attention all the way the first time. But anyway, he with these kids, like obviously we don't know until he gets in the library. We just hear the shots. But the way he shoots them, like he sits there and like it's not like he opened the door and started firing or whatever. Like he execution style each one of them.
Each one of them, one at a time.
And then when he gets to the cheerleader last, he heard her crying, obviously, at that point after she had shot her boyfriend. But he walks around slowly and picks up the table and flips the table over, looks at her. And then we find out later too, I think when the kids come back to the murder house, because they didn't come back yet, right?
No, they already did.
No, yeah, because
they already did. Yesterday.
She mentioned Stephanie, I believe it was, is the one who mentioned to him. She said, "You asked me if I believed in God before you shot me, or you asked me what my religion was before you shot me." Now that's a direct Columbine link, because obviously this was very Columbine, and for the time because of the time period. But the thing is that was a big thing after Columbine happened. I don't know if you guys remember, there was a survivor who said that everybody was, it was that she had said that before he shot one of the girls, or before he almost shot her, he asked her, the gunman was one of them was asking people, do you believe in God, or what's your religion? It was something like that. I believe it was, do you believe in God, is what it was. Mm-hmm. And then come to find out that was actually like an urban legend rumor type of thing that just started. That was never actually said by him, but he did say something about pray to your God or something like that. So just,
because she told him, I don't believe in God, but I lied to you. And I lied to you. This is when they were on the
that's
beach.
What it was.
But in the physical retelling, in the scene that we saw, he never spoke.
And that's the thing, is that we didn't see it. Exactly.
Yeah. He never spoke.
Yeah. And that was part of my point too, is that, she points that out and says that, but we saw when she was in the library, when they were, encountered each other, and when she died. So we didn't hear anything.
He never spoke a word. Right. It's weird. So I don't know which to believe, which is the accurate retelling.
I just think, like I said, I just think it was an Easter egg kind of thing, that Murphy threw in, because that was a very big thing after the Columbine shooting. It was that people were saying this
5 years before Columbine. It's 94. Columbine was 94.
And they did that on purpose. They could have picked any year, and like we said, they weren't trying to connect them yet that we know of. They could have picked any year in the 90s, and I think they were very specific.
Because they wanted to make sure it was far enough away.
Right. They wanted to still, be sensitive to the subject.
Oh, yeah, I was in Columbine the morning after the shooting.
Yeah, I remember you telling us about that.
Weird. Yeah.
So we have a group of Fortnite peeps. There's 5 of them. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hi, guys. 5 of us watching on Nintendo. We love your show and Michael's films. Hi, Buffy.
Film.
Nice.
What film?
Oh, cold.
We did because we were doing breakdowns.
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
So
all of this is happening before the opening credits even start.
Yeah.
Because the last scene we have before the opening credits is Tate sitting on the bed waiting for them to come up the stairs.
They target him, and then
they come up and they're pointing the guns at him, and he stands up.
And then he goes like this without a gun.
Yeah, and then we get the opening credit sequence after that.
Yeah, and the opening credits. So you don't know yet, that they're going to shoot him. I mean, not that I'm spoiling anything.
They're just
literally waiting. The next thing.
They can't shoot him. He doesn't have a gun in his hand yet. They can't do anything. They're just waiting. And Constance is flipping. She has no idea what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's just going crazy.
You'll hear her in the background yelling, saying, "He'll go peacefully. He'll go peacefully."
He's only a child. What do you, why are you doing this? And so on and so forth. And then after the opening credits, we finally have Violet looking on the internet to find out what all this is about. It took her that long.
Ask the right question.
I think she's just so in her own world, and she just moved there.
Ignorance is bliss, right?
Yep.
She was just like enamored. I mean, why would she think something like that's such a horrific thing?
Yeah,
I'm sure it wouldn't even occur to her.
Well,
There's some other weird shit going on, but it's like, you know, she has her revelation in this episode. She has her revelation for sure.
And then she realizes that Tate's dead.
Like,
I know.
So
she doesn't realize until she sees this picture. And then she sees this picture and totally just flips.
Well, she still thinks he's playing his game.
But you know, as she flips out, I mean, I could understand, but I think it was a little bit much, because at the point that you're already researching it means you already think that something happened, and you know what I mean? So
just trying to double check your
denial. She's still
yourself.
like, no, this can't be right.
She went and talked to the one guy that survived. She went to the library.
Yeah, the teacher from the shooting.
The one who tried to get the door, he survived, but he's in a wheelchair now, and he's like, there's like 3 or 4 of you who come here, morbid people, every year. And she's like, I'm not morbid, I just moved here. And then she's like, did you know him? Why'd he do it? And he's like, I saw his face, he seemed like a nice kid.
Yeah, he said never had any problems, and I forget what he said. What, damn it, I meant to write it down, but he said, you know, he spent time in here, he would read in here, and he said books what he read birds. And I can't remember.
Books about birds. He likes birds. Because later we find out it's because he wants to be able to fly away.
Yep.
Because Violet has the book that he checked out in the room.
Right.
Yeah. I do like the scene with Violet and Constance when she's coming down the stairs looking for her mom. This was right after, in the very beginning part of the episode, where Constance is sitting at the counter smoking a cigarette. And then she's like, you found out about Tate, didn't you?
Yeah.
I knew you would.
And this is when she introduces her to Billy Dean.
Yep, Billy Dean.
So then we see our lovely Sarah Paulson, who, by the way, I was looking at
Craigslist psychic with a lifetime special.
Medium. She's a medium, like the medium,
But Violet tells her, that's what Violet tells her. She says, Craigslist psychic with a lifetime special.
And I think that he must have, you know, the medium, the Long Island medium that's on Lifetime. And then there's the other guy, Thomas John, who does like the Uber driving, and they call it backseat psych medium. Because she's like, I can't tell you your future. I can just talk to people who die.
Yeah.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Debbie. Debbie. She says she's going to come back on. So.
Yeah, sometimes you have to do that.
Yeah, so they go anywhere. And you know, I have to say, I was looking at Sarah Paulson last night. God, I mean, she's an attractive woman, but when they do her Billy Dean makeup and the nails or whatever, she looks gorgeous. She's pretty, and it's obvious was like a society woman who had a lot of money.
Yeah.
Who didn't want to be like this, but she's like, you either get on board or you go crazy.
Yeah.
Because you see dead people all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, you know, I mean, Sarah Paulson always looks beautiful, but I think Billy Dean was meant to be very pretty, and with the nails and the big rings, and obviously had a little money. And I never really looked that deep into that character before. And I looked at Mike, and I'm like, my hubby Mike, I'm like, wow.
Now, do you notice when we see Billy Dean, because like you just pointed that out, but when we see her, let's say, because we see her 2 more times. So let's just say when we see her in Apocalypse, in the Return to Murder House episode, she was very much more homely looking. Like, she didn't look bad. She just didn't look as like society rich. Like, she looked more like Susie Homemaker. Well,
maybe because there was also like a time difference. Plus, maybe that's what this does to you. It like drains your energy. So maybe you're not.
Because then, if you think hotel, like she had, like her hair was a little bit more poofy and feathered out, and like she
was
looked
like the 80s,
more
right?
Hollywood like, because she was doing the interview and whatnot.
And that was the 80s, wasn't it? Was it the 80s or no? It was current. Never mind.
No, hotel.
I thought it had 80s hair.
All right, so that's what I've got in my notes right now. Who wants to continue?
I have it all down somewhere.
Where did we leave off?
Okay, so we get introduced to Billy, but isn't that in between where you see Ben with Cam, basically? So then it shows, then it flashes back and shows the house in between. And Ben comes in and he gets into a fight with Vivian. He's like, look, I have to make money. I have to see.
Yeah, because he says he's there to see his patients. He says, I have to work. And then again, like I think it was you pointed it out before, Di, he says, we have to be able to pay for this house or we can't afford this house, something with the house again, with them not having the money and all their money in the house.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and so we're introduced to his new patient who is Cam from Modern Family. I can't remember his character's name, which was kind of a surprise.
His name is
Eric Stone Street.
Yes.
It's Derek.
No,
his name is Derek, and he is.
Oh yeah, the character.
Flipping out.
The character.
Piggy.
The character. He can't sleep. He can't eat. He can't look into mirrors. And he said all his stuff is urban legend. And this is what I thought was interesting that I caught last night. He said Bloody Mary. He says the lady in white.
Yeah, I caught that too last night. He did when he's talking about the urban legends. Yeah, and he named them all off, and he said the lady in white.
The lady in white. I wonder if Ryan went back and remembered that. And
well, there is an urban legend, the lady in white, that has nothing to do with 1984. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of urban legends of the lady in white. There's one in Chicago, and for the cemetery there's the legend of the lady in white.
Yeah, I mean that's probably. I just thought it was funny. Although then he's like,
good catch.
3 times. So I'm just like, okay, Beetlejuice. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. Beetlejuice. Yeah. Because the attic kind of looks like where Beetlejuice lived, if you think about it. I don't know. I'm a huge guys. Are you guys Beetlejuice fans?
Yeah, I love Beetlejuice. Michael Keaton is the best. I'm sorry. Forever, I don't care what anybody says, and Michael will probably end up having an argument about this. My Batman will always be Michael Keaton.
Oh, he's good. I like his Batman. I prefer him as the Vulture in Spider-Man, but.
And why is it that it's like everybody in his family? Side note, that if they're a superhero, they get to automatically play another superhero later.
No.
That just kind of works that way, though. You notice that a lot of them?
Yeah, because a lot of actors won't do the genre. They will not do for those films because
which is stupid, especially nowadays with all the money it makes.
Yep. But you're good and you're successful in one, and you love the genre, the studio will hire you. But you notice it's crossover studios. It's never the same studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Debbie says the nails are so specific. La hot coral, long almond shaped, which is actually my favorite, but mine aren't long enough right now because she used to do like Tippi Hedren. Oh my gosh, yes, she did look kind of Tippi Hedren-ish. If you go back to the bird,
yes,
absolutely, Debbie. So, where Ben is talking to, Derek.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Michael is tell us about that whole session. That was really interesting.
He was just talking about how he's crippled because of this fear of urban legends, and that he believes that all these urban legends are going to come true, and they're haunting him. They're going to kill. He can't go out in public. He can't get a date. He can't do all this stuff. And Ben's like, all right, we're just going to face those fears, and then. That's later.
So he takes them upstairs.
That's later.
That happens later.
Yeah, he hasn't take him up yet. He's just telling him. The first session was just him telling him why.
The first session was just getting him.
That he's like.
He scheduled another one.
Really, really. So.
Yeah.
He's just like. He can't do anything. He can't shave because he can't look in the mirror. And his brothers used to beat him up. And he's like, well, older brothers will do that. And he's like, it was my younger brothers. And then you realize, this guy had real issues.
Oh.
Very true.
Then he leaves.
That's kind of a theme throughout this.
And we end up going
is bullying and people, just like overall underlying bullying, whether you're the bully or the bullier, the bully or the bully. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which
the victim or the victimizer.
This is a brand new writer and director for this episode. Director was Michael Uppendell. And then the writer was Jessica something or other. Jessica Schuser or something or other. It's brand new.
Yeah.
Well,
I
definitely
never
has
heard
a
of them
different
before.
feel.
Before
Is it after Ben leaves when Constance brings the offal for Moira to cook it for her?
Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe
then
Ben.
Get
You know what? Ben might
Rosemary's
be in the other room.
Huh?
Ben might still be in the office with the patients at that time.
Yeah, they sent him out, and then Constance is at the back door, and this is so. And actually, I think before that when she was in bed and she had the flashback to the little hooves.
What?
She was sleeping and she was sleeping and having a dream that she was in the window with a huge stomach, and you saw.
Oh yeah, and then no, that was before. Wasn't this one when she had the dream about Morris Chestnut again? Yeah.
Well, the first part of the stream was her with the baby.
Yes.
And
yeah,
then it went to her in bed. And first she was with Morris Chestnut, then she was with Ben, and then she was with the guy.
We heard the cello, and she was like rubbing her stomach and everything. Then we saw like the demon claw in her stomach.
Little hooves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was like 8 months pregnant, like almost ready to.
Yeah, like
this happened before all of this. They're like peppering things in.
Basically, for her, that was a dream, and then she woke up and she got up and she's down in the kitchen, and then all of a sudden she hits the panic
when she
button.
got up, she asked Morris Chestnut to come, and then when she's talking
to him, and Ben walks in.
That was a booty call.
Back later, he sees him talking, and he's like, "Thanks for filling in for me, buddy." And she's looking at him like, "What do you mean filling in? Get the fuck out of here!"
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when we got the whole thing. I have to still work in the house. I have to be. I still have to be my patient.
So we missed that part. That happened before that. So now that's happened, and we're still at present time. And Constance comes in, and she has a dish of something called offal. And she says, pregnant women need to eat this because it's the very best. And, she describes it like, she reminds me of like Scarlett O'Hara talking about stuff that you need. And
yeah, she did. She got that accent as she was saying.
And sometimes it's heavier than others, but when she wants to kind of woo people, I think she kind of like lays it on a little bit more. And this is where you see that Moira has always, we always know Moira was part of this.
Yeah.
But Moira was like, oh, it's so important to eat this. And first she tells her, oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you my condolences about Addie. And then she's like, well, life is for the living. And Violet was so sweet. And
yeah. So it's like, it leaves us wondering if she has good intentions.
So she lifts up the paper, and there's like kidneys and lungs and sweet bread.
When they're a liver, I think she said.
Yeah, it was like it's just organ meat. Okay, it's just disgusting. And then Vivian's kind of looking at
pancreas. That's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, she's looking at it, and normally you would think someone like Vivian, I don't even let my kids drink out of plastic containers, would look at this and go, what the fuck? She was kind of interested, and this is where you see the house.
Mm-hmm.
Because she didn't seem to care. And even when she eats again later, she's the same way, like she's mesmerized.
Yeah, I mean, Moira takes them and she breads them and she fries them up with sweet butter and just a little bit of lemon, and she eats the whole plate like she's never seen food before. And then after those are done, she's like, I've left the pancreas, which is supposed to be the best. It's supposed to be eaten raw. And then she's like, I hear the raw food movement is really in, like trying to. And then Vivian,
and at this point, you're thinking you like Moira and you thought Moira was good, but then you're thinking, is she in on something with Constance where they're trying to, do something to Vivian or not? Because at that point, you're not sure. It seems devious because it's odd and weird.
Every time Constance comes in, she said, we need this baby.
Yeah.
Baby. Rosemary's fucking baby.
Yep,
we
need all it is.
Baby. And Moira's in on it, but I honestly, and maybe this is just me wanting to like Moira, I think Moira's got nothing else to do anyway. She's stuck.
Yeah.
I don't think she
just knowing the season and everything, I think Moira definitely meant well, and she liked the Harmons and wanted to help take care of them. And Moira genuinely seems like a good person. She may have been slightly promiscuous, but we don't even know that. We just know she made one mistake.
Exactly. And it's costing her.
She's a good person. That's like my favorite character from this season is Moira. And then it doesn't help either that my girl crush is Alexandria Breckenridge.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's my girl crush.
Who is that?
Michael,
the young Moira.
Frozen.
The one with the red hair. The young Moira.
Huh?
Yeah.
The other Moira.
Yeah. And she's been in a lot of stuff too. Like she was in The Walking Dead and everything else too. And
I remember her from Coven.
Yep.
Yeah. She had a small part in Coven.
But it's like you see the house kind of taking a hold there, and that Constance wants this baby, and you're like, why? But it's definitely it's just so
you're kind of thinking why, but at the same time it's a brain time.
Because then I don't know if that's a flashback or then you go to where she meets the lady in the church. But
they went.
Huh?
She I think it's real time. I think it's in real time.
As far as actual episode itself. So then after all this happens, she calls up the hospital to try to find the woman who fainted when she had her ultrasound. Turns out
the nurse or whatever,
and she quit right after it happened. She tracked her down and she agreed to meet her, and she didn't realize she was going into
a church, because that's where
she said that's where she felt safe.
Yeah.
And that's where she felt safe. And then she goes to sit next to her and she says, that's far enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she looks at her and she's like, what did you see in that ultrasound? And she didn't want to tell her at first. And then she's like, you have to tell me. And then she says, have you read? She starts quoting the book of Revelation about the dragon and the whole apocalyptic antichrist thing. And Vivian's like, oh, you're obviously demented. She totally gaffes off. This woman
she's like, oh, you obviously didn't see anything.
Yeah, you didn't see anything. The machine was broken. She's like, no, it wasn't. I saw the hooves. You're carrying, I don't know if she says the Antichrist, but she definitely alludes to it.
Carrying something evil.
You're carrying an evil. And later on, when Violet is by the swimming pool with the other girl, she talks about it's like Revelations comes into it.
Yeah, isn't her name Leah?
Very Damien. Very the Omen.
Yeah, and this is the last time we see her.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I skipped ahead, but so then she leaves the church and basically thinks the woman's full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Even though this woman is obviously completely, and then she goes back home. And I can't remember where in the episode we flash back to. Then we go to, then Violet is with the other girl. See, that's why, even though these people weren't there very much, like, why did this girl have to be scared? She had to be scared because she had come to Jesus meeting, and now she's got more drugs, and without her, Violet wouldn't have the means to try to
commit suicide. She gave Violet the pills.
But she said, did you ever read the book of Revelations? There's a big red dragon, and the archangel Michael slayed the dragon down to hell because a woman was giving birth to a baby and the dragon wanted the baby. And this is all in Revelations. I don't know if you guys have ever read it. I've read it many times. And there's a woman in labor and she's having a really hard time, and the dragon is waiting to eat her baby. So God sends Michael, the archangel to slay, and they slay the dragon, and the dragon falls to earth, and the woman gives birth, and that woman is Eve. So it's basically all of mankind's mother if you take it from a biblical standpoint.
Right.
And this is a girl who was like doing drugs or whatever. Now all of a sudden she's reading the Bible. I mean, whatever happened to her, she's like, I saw the devil. He doesn't have little red horns and he doesn't have a red face. He's real and he's living in your basement. He didn't say that, but we know it's, she saw evil. She saw the devil, and she's like, and I can't sleep and I don't know what I'm going to do. And I have to take pills. And she's like, oh, what kind of pills? So she gives Violet all the pills.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's where Violet gets the pills.
Yep. Didn't Vivian have an amnio?
And then we go back to the house. And
Vivian had an amnio done.
Yeah.
And then, so I have a question. Do you guys ever get the feeling, even though they don't ever connect it, this doctor's a little off?
The female doctor, the blonde?
Like, yeah, she's like, why don't you sit with your wife? And she does the amnio and she does an ultrasound again.
Vivian's like, you don't have to be here and you didn't have to leave work to be here. And he's like, yeah, I did. And she's like, oh, yeah, I did. He's the daddy.
Like every time this woman talks, it seems like she's like Stepfordy. You know what I mean? Like something's got her on the brain.
Yeah.
Like you don't see the connection that she might have with, Sandra Bernhardt's church or something, but
there you go.
She's I feel like she's almost in on it, because how could you not be when everybody else can see it and you can? And she's always so like, yeah, it's gonna be great and everything's fine, and oh, by the way, you're having twins.
And she so nonchalantly said that, like, oh, it's twins. Like, wait,
you get the idea. I mean, and then they did the amnio. They must have found something in the fluid. It just seems to me like
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's not real life. It doesn't work that way. Amnio is elective. It's not something you have to do. And they have so many other
about the Down syndrome because of Addie.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But they have so many other tests now that they do through urine where you don't have to do amnio. Amnio is if they are really, really concerned and think something definitely is wrong. Yeah. And then amnio, you don't get your results back like right then and there. And they tell you, because she's like, oh, and everything's fine, baby's good. And like, that's not how it works.
Well, but this was, 12 years ago or whatever. I mean, I know that Vivian thinks something's wrong with this baby from the very beginning. So she's going to ask for every test she can find.
Right.
So I know.
So then after that, we end up going back to the house, and I remember the scene where Violet walks into Ben's office, and she's right on the verge of tears, and she basically says, "This is all my fault, and I'm sorry." And he's basically, "It's okay, I've got you." And she's like, "It's the darkness, all the other stuff." And that's the whole scene before. I don't know whether it's before she takes the pills or after.
Yeah, when she talks to Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, the darkness has a hold of me, and he's like, I'm here, I got you. But she doesn't do anything until.
Yeah, the only time we see Violet as a dead Violet is the very, very, very final scene with her and Tate in the bed. That's it.
Because after she takes the pills, we get Tate in the bathtub with her, trying to get her to.
And before the pills, she's standing there and she cuts her wrist, and you see the blood, which is really important because later on, when she cuts herself, you don't see that anymore.
You don't see it anymore. Yeah.
And she tried.
And Tate comes in and tells her, he's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "You cut." And he's like, "I don't do it anymore."
And then you see her do her throat, and it's really just her in her mind thinking about what she's going to do. And then she's reading the bird book, and she's spinning out of control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you don't know if it's her, but really we find out later on it's really the house fucking with her brain.
Right.
And it fucks with everyone. Even when back in the beginning, Constance told Violet, Tate did not kill those people. The house made him do it. She said the house made him kill those people. It was not my sweet boy. The house made him do this. The house will do that to you. You live there. You've seen it. And then she introduces her to Billie Jean. That was kind of her reasoning for doing it. She wanted to show Violet that Violet would understand. So she maybe didn't go down the rabbit hole. Unfortunately, she did. Yeah. She took a bunch of pills. Tate found her, made her puke, got her in the bathtub, got her all set up, and then
because she takes the pills and stuff after she finds out about Tate.
Right, after she's with Constance.
After she's with Leah, that's where she gets the pills.
Right, and I think right after the pills, in between it cuts, and you see where Vivian's with Moira again, and Constance is brought over yet another
one. The brain.
And she was getting ready to let her go because she couldn't afford to keep her anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, it doesn't matter. I can't leave a pregnant, defenseless woman. And she's like, well, I'm not defenseless. And then she tells her she's going to stay and make everything pretty so that the new owners, we totally forgot about the Persian.
But he's not Persian. He's Armenian.
That's the Persian guy will.
That doesn't happen for a while, but
yeah.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is that she comes with this really beautiful china dish, and she opens up, and there's a fucking brain.
The brain looks like a monkey brain.
And Constance,
no thank you.
Vivian looks at it, and then you see something take over her eyes, and this is where Connie Britton is so amazing. And she picks up the knife, and she picks up a fork in such a proper way. I felt like I was watching Hannibal Lecter, and she just fucking eats the brain like it's the most
Corona.
anything she's ever eaten in her life, to where at the end she's licking it all up. And it's
Yeah.
Oh, no, thank you. Pass.
So that it looks more grainy.
So that's where we see all of this going on with, there's so many different little things that are not little, but there are all these storylines that are going on. You have Tate, and you have the 1994 storyline, and then you have the what's going on right now storyline, and then you have Violet spinning out of control and trying to commit suicide. And I mean, really, the whole big Tate reveal was just because you don't see his face until the very end, because the way they shoot it is so great, the way that it goes around.
At the very end,
go back because
when in the
and we need
scene,
to go back because
what?
Oh, that's true.
We need to go back because of the fact that Derek has that other session with Ben, and basically says, I met a girl, and he goes back to his house. Yeah, he goes back to his house, and he starts to say the words, and then someone who says, who are you calling a pig? And they open it and they kill him right there. But it turns out that it's not actually part of that. It's they came to rob him, and they ended up killing him. They're like, well, this was supposed to be a robbery, not a murder. What are you doing? So we totally skipped over that part, but that's actually an important part.
Yeah,
I know, it's well, because there's, like I said, instead of going through the, maybe we just take each storyline and then go through it to the end and then do the next storyline, because before that, Ben took him upstairs and made him go into his bathroom, gave him a flashlight, says, I'm going to be right outside. And then he looked in the mirror and said, here, Piggy, Piggy, here, Piggy, Piggy. And nothing happened. Then he turned around and he saw the dead nurse in the bathtub and flipped. And started screaming and yelling. And it was the same kind of tub was at his apartment later, like with the curtain.
Yeah.
So when he finally got the guts up to do it himself, and then he kind of went like this and was relieved, okay, it's just bullshit. The guy opens the thing and you're like, oh my God, but it was just a burglar. So you're like, poor guy who's fucked anyway you think.
Who you
call Piggy?
So the Fortnite people say, okay, so yes, before Violet tried to kill herself, after she met Billy Dean and Constance are trying to explain to her, you've lived in that house, there's different realities, there's different possibilities, Violet went downstairs to the basement and saw the twin, and Dr. Montgomery came up to her and said, are you my next patient? Did my wife sedate you yet?
Well, it's her grandmother that started Violet. Whoa, wait a minute. The real wake-up call, when Billy Dean tapped into the grandmother. And the grandmother had told Violet those things, whispered only Violet would know in her ear. And Billy Dean told her. That's when Violet, I think, opened her mind. It started really questioning everything. And then later on, when she goes down in the basement, she sees them all. This big old montage.
She sees everyone, because they think that Violet has whatever it is in her, like Constance has. Like, I don't know that Constance is a medium. We still haven't figured that out yet. But anyway, you guys. So yes, that is true. She went down. There's just a lot going on. I mean, they really put a lot in an hour.
Not even an hour.
Yeah, they put a lot in.
So then that's what happened to Eric Stone Street. And then that's what happened with Vivian. She's having weird dreams. There's some sexual tension going on with Morris Chestnut, which we all agree would happen with any woman in the universe. And Rosemary's babying her, and this is where you think, oh man, I wanted Moira to be good, and now she's doing evil shit, because that's evil shit. I mean, and it's not evil shit as much as it is just, playing along with everything that's going on, because what else has she got to do?
Well, after Piggy dies, after Derek dies, we get another good Constance scene with Constance able to talk to Addie.
Yes, with Billie Jean.
Yeah. Oh, I know, that was so sweet.
Oh, I love the scene. That scene.
So Violet runs out, and she's like, "Can we trust her?"
I like that because she's like, "Well, don't be mad at me."
Yeah. Then she looked at her and said, "I want to talk to Addie."
Yeah, she's like, "Don't be mad at me that your daughter doesn't want to talk to you."
Well, you don't be mad at me just because your daughter's mad.
Yeah.
Right.
Good moment.
Yeah. Well, and that's when she tells her that
she's
very
sweet.
You know what was funny was what we were talking about yesterday when you guys were saying that Constance did the first nice thing for Addie that she had done in her life, or in a long time anyway, and that was when she gave her that pretty girl mask, because she genuinely, wanted her to be happy and be a pretty girl. And that's mentioned or, hinted at and talked about when she talks with Billie Dean with the whole pretty girl conversation.
Well, the last line is so beautiful because she says, she wants you to know that where she's at now, she really is a pretty girl. I was like,
yeah. It's just like,
pretty girl every day.
Right. It's like, it gives you the feels so bad.
Yeah, absolutely. And then she says, and I want to thank you for not moving me onto the lawn. She said Tate scares her.
Yep.
Tate
scares her.
And that's her brother. So, I mean, if anybody.
And that's where and then if you had not figured it out already, you're like, okay, got to die there to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Which we find out later on is the premise for a lot of other, not just Hotel, but a lot of the other things that happen in the ASS and in the American Horror Story universe.
Right.
But it's really interesting that Addie, through her whole life, never knew that Tate did that stuff. She said, because she said, I'm scared of Tate now that I know the truth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't know. They kept her secluded from that.
And by know the truth, did she know everything, or did she just know that he was crazy?
We don't, because she's gone to the other side. So maybe she even knows what he did to Vivian.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
It's possible that happened. She just doesn't know. And now she does, because she's on the other side.
You guys, I just thought of something. I know, a side note, but okay, so we have all of our little Titan tape pops. I have 3 different ones. I have The Normal People Scare Me. I have this one, and I have Rubber Man. Well, the Rubber Man I made, and this one I made. I actually hand painted all of that and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So I was thinking, because I have a few extra tapes, because those are the most popular ones, I guess, that when you buy the mystery boxes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna make one with the skull face.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting.
And like the duster jacket.
The skull face. We come to find out, the skull face is only in his mind. That's how he saw himself.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because when we see him, when he shoots them, when we finally see his face, he doesn't have anything on. But you know what? I think that was a previous day at school. I don't think that was the day he shot everybody. I think he had come to school like that.
I thought it was Halloween.
I always thought that's just how he envisioned himself.
No, I never thought of it that way, but that's a good point too.
Mm-hmm.
And it wouldn't surprise me that's what they meant by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you'd expect to see the skull face that you saw earlier.
Right. And that's when it's revealed, like you said,
when he kills the last person, and when they actually show his face, and he's got the weirdest.
And I was gonna say his eyes, it's like he's looking through her, but at the same time, he's looking like he's angry at her specifically, which I'm sure she didn't do anything to him, but you know what I mean? Like that
anger. It was like someone
and
telling him in his head what to do.
Yes, Exactly.
When he said it still bothers me that he said that he only kills the ones he likes.
Yeah.
He had no. I don't think he had any connection with them.
No, I don't think so either.
That's why they were so adamant when they saw him at the beach. They're like, why? What? It's like you killed a jock, you killed a cheerleader, you killed a goth chick, you killed a geek. It's literally the Breakfast Club. Literally, like you have absolutely.
And I'm sure that was a specific reference to that too. You know,
of course,
because it's probably that's probably one of their favorite movies or something.
But the fact that he manifests that in his own vision of the shooting, or his own rationale of the shooting, that
the only people that he likes to kill, can you go, please?
Is another problem with him. It's just weird that he would manifest that piece of it as well.
You got to shut it right now. Hold on.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see if we missed anybody.
Well, we got one final scene. The final scene is our very, very, very first Violet dead scene. Violet's dead in the room. She's in the bedroom. Tate comes in. They have a little.
We don't know she's dead yet. Let's just play along.
We don't know she's dead yet.
Yeah.
We don't find that out next time.
And he calls in bed with her. She's basically saying, "It's okay. We can be together or whatever. Come comfort me." But the dialogue in this scene, if you go back and you look at the dialogue in the scene with like the subtitles on or whatever, and like read it like a script, they tell you like 5 times that she's dead. It's all in like
After and you go back
cold.
Again,
I'm cold too, or just I'm cold too, and there's a whole bunch of there's like 5 different instances where it's like once you know that she's dead, they're telling you right there.
Because the first time I watched it, I was just like, save her. And when he did, I was so. The first time I watched this, it was just like.
Oh yeah, it got me the first time too. I never saw it coming.
For sure, it got me.
But I did figure it out prior to the reveal. But once I figured it out, I was like, "Oh, this is crazy. We're going to do that." But I figured it out like the episode before.
I wasn't thinking that way. I was just like, and I wasn't into the whole American Horror Story thing. I was just like watching it to watch it. Like
I remember, for me, it was a really big shock.
Yeah, I was just like
expecting it. I'm like, wow.
We're coming and going in the car. I think it was right around there that I started figuring out. Because the same thing happened to Hayden happens to Violet. She keeps going circling in the house over and over and over.
That happens next episode where she finally figures out, because she tries to leave the house and can't.
Yeah, I think that's where I got it.
Yeah. That was a total shock for me. I was like, wow, they really went there. Okay. Very true.
Let's see. I think we got all the so BRT says, I don't think Moira made a mistake since Constance's husband's forced himself on her, and Constance doesn't realize she's torturing an innocent victim. Well, she did the first time. She said the first time was consensual, so they did sleep together once. But you could see this guy. This is the thing: when women do this, they go after the woman first, and I don't get it. It's the man's in this particular, and most instances, sometimes women don't even know. Because Moira lived there and she knew.
Constance knows her husband. They've been married for a while at this point. I guarantee you she knew that he was, womanizer or a sleazebag, or that he cheated on her before, or that, he would hit on women or whatever. Like, I guarantee you all that. So she already knew what kind of person he was. And then, like you said, exactly, she took it out on her. I mean, she shot them both. So I guess technically.
She shot Moira first.
Because she can't continue to take it up on him, because remember, they said she ground him up into dog meat and put him in the basement or whatever. But that's why he stays. And then we find out he stays in the basement because he's scared of her, because, just like they kill each other for fun and it's over and they do it again.
Did I miss the whole thing with Bo, or is that next show?
That's later.
It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. They were merging for me too, because I was watching on Netflix and the next one automatically started, so I let it play while I was doing.
I can't, because I do it over the internet. My TV doesn't do the closed caption. It would only do it if I was watching my regular service, not when I go on the internet. So I can't watch it like that.
I usually just watch episode at a time, and then it's
all
like, okay, now
yeah, well, that's
stop.
what we try to do. But if you close your eyes for 1 second, like, and then go, they just start right away. So I try to stop them.
I have it set on my iTunes, so it just stops. Please, what
yeah, on Netflix, they just keep going, like we were talking about. So right, I think that's all of the. Let's see, Beetlejuice, yay, Beetlejuice, Debbie.
Beetlejuice.
The only Batman. Mm-hmm. Considering she shows what's going on with the house, yet she's more scared at hotels. Felt different character. Yeah, Billie Dean changes over the years for sure because she has to. I mean, people evolve. This is where she was probably in the very beginning of it, and she just kind of discovered where she had that gift that was thrust upon her that she didn't want. And then I think by the time she's in a hotel, she's really into being a celebrity.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. She's sensationalized.
Yeah.
The live stream and all the fans. I think she gets very Hollywooded up, for lack of a better word. I don't think she's quite there yet in this particular role. And this is the first time.
But in the first season, she's not like that because it's the very beginning of her career. She doesn't have her show yet, so she's still kind of dipping her toe in it. She knows what she's doing, and not everybody.
Yes. So whatever. Let's see. So for sure, Rosemary's Baby. We have about. Oh, we're almost done. Rosemary's Baby. Seriously, I got like Beetlejuice vibes because I just, Beetlejuice to go totally off the genre, but not really. Beetlejuice is kind of a horror movie. I've probably seen Beetlejuice.
Urban Legends.
40 times.
Urban Legends. We got the beginning of the Urban Legends.
There was another one last night, and I told Mike, and I didn't write it down. That was kind of like, I'm like, oh my gosh, that reminds me of that too, and I don't. Shit, I'll remember it later. Just so many different ones. Are there any movies that we're not saying that you guys are remember? There's one that was really obvious to me last night, and of course now my brain is not functioning.
Does anyone in the comments have any final thoughts or questions they want answered?
Yeah,
everyone's tired. One of the day, I told you guys I would do it. I would bring it. I had to get it up off the mounted on the wall. This is Dumbledore's wand, not the elder wand, but Dumbledore's wand from Fantastic Beasts.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's gorgeous. See, that's like black and silver. That's my kind of wand.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like that.
Real metal, leather.
Wait,
like
is that
leather strips?
Is that the first one?
Huh?
Is that the elder wand?
No, this is Dumbledore's as a before the elder wand and all that mess. This is his wand from
the student.
So this would be the wand that he would have gone in the shop as a kid to get.
That's originally a student wand.
Yeah, this is his wand. The other one is a hollow. There's 3 hollows, the Deathly Hollows, and the other one is a hollow. And so it really doesn't belong to anybody in a sense that they went as a student and got it. This would be his that he has during the first movies. So gorgeous. But I told you to bring it up. But I have it.
Buffy said they mentioned the Candyman.
Yeah, Candyman is exactly what like Piggy Man.
And then they want to know when the drag race show is. The drag race show is tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's tomorrow. It'll be right after this one. So I'm thinking what?
So we're doing episode 7, and then drag.
We're doing drag race first, and then American Horror Story, or vice versa.
No, I think we're going to do American Horror Story first. That one's already set up. And then we're going to do Drag Race right after that.
So Drag Race, if you guys watch the link, it'll probably be at between 3:30 and 4 our time, since we don't want to stream for a really long time. But it'll be tomorrow at around the same time, a little bit later if you want to not watch the Horror Story one and watch the Drag Race, because we're going to do both tomorrow.
Yes.
Hey,
I'll be setting up the Drag Race link tonight.
Watch Interrogation. Holy man, this may be the best TV that I've seen in a long time. A long time.
What service is it on? Is that on Apple TV?
CBS. CBS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so everybody can watch it, even if you don't have cable.
It's you got the first episode and the final episode are set. All the other episodes in between, you can watch whatever order you want to. It doesn't matter. It's like just pick one and just watch it. You have to watch the first one first and the last one. Wow. Yeah, it's really cool.
So what? You have to watch the first one, then the last one, and then you can watch stuff in the middle?
You watch the first one, and then the 8 that's in between, you can watch those any way you want. And once you're done with those 8, then you watch the finale.
Huh.
So only the first one and the finale are set in their place. All the rest of them, they say you can watch however you want to watch. It's really cool. My OCD wouldn't let me, though. I had to watch them in order. It's good.
All right, everybody. Thank you for coming out. We will be back tomorrow with yet another episode. Everybody, please like and subscribe. Share with your friends.
Please.
The more, the better. And we're not going anywhere. We're here for the long haul. And this is only the first. This is only the first season. We got 9 more to go.
Yeah, well, let's do the first season first.
Yep.
One day at a time, like everything else in the world right now.
Yep.
True that. True that.
So thank you guys for coming out, and we will see you guys tomorrow.
Have a lovely Friday, everybody. Thank you so much.
Oh, hey, wait.
Wash your hands.
I'm gonna do some Facebook Live stuff on our Facebook page soon. I might do one tonight. We're gonna do like a mystery horror unboxing. So I don't know what time. I don't know what time, so I can't promise anybody. But yeah, check it out on the Facebook page.
So go to our Facebook page and like it. If you're not sure where it is, reach out to one of the 4 of us. I think we're Facebook friends with most of the people in the group.
Well, Dawn, you can go ahead and put the link in the description of this video then. So
all of the links to all of our social media are down below.
Join us on Facebook. We're going to be using that more as well. Those will be like spontaneous.
Yeah.
Yes. No, sure. Not.
Bonus content.
All right, then. You guys have a great day. We'll talk to you later. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you so much for coming.